Hello, my name is Simon and welcome to another video on ALS software engineering. Today we'll be looking at the C debugging project. This is a very important project in software development, in software engineering. So it's actually a crucial one, and we're going to look into some practical examples on how to debug and some principles we are going to follow when we are debugging. So basically, what is debugging? If you click on the first link and open it in a new tab, it takes you to Wikipedia, and I'm just going to take some few lines. So in computational programming and software development, debugging is the process of finding and resolving bugs, defects, or problem that prevent correct operation. I want you to take note of this side. Prevent what? Correct operation. So the C compiler, which is the program is, I've copied some program here. So what this program does is, you can see this is the main function, right? And this is the prototype. And if you scroll down a little, if I scroll down a little, this is the mass function. I think this I used this in one of my videos earlier, either the last 2 or 3. So what this is doing is it takes results from the mass function and display the result here. However, the mass function takes in 2 values and return the mass of the 2 value. So if I run, you can see there is an error in the program. One thing I want you to pay attention is how to read errors. It builds your debugging skill. It gives you proper understanding on where you should tap. If you look at, we're having error here, which is result, and in which line? 11. Okay, so we are picking the first error message, which is what? Line 11. However, if you are working with different if you are working in a bigger project, what you should focus on is the file name. Then you drill it down to the line where the error is happening. So if you look at line 11, you can see there is an error here. When debugging, some of the message you get will not actually relate to the issue you're actually having. Will not actually give you a straightforward solution, but you are the one to look at it, because they're giving you a line already. You can see we're having issues with line 11, and in line 11 they are underlining something here. So what you have to do is to go to line 11 and look at what is happening here, right? So if you look at it closely, you will discover we need a comma here. So I just added a comma, and let me run again. Good. Our program runs currently. Our program runs correctly. So that is how to debug. You look at the line, and when you look at the line, you traced what you've done wrong in that specific line. So I hope this gives a little example of how debugging works. So we are going to go back to the project. I'm going to work on a project and see how we can debug most of the question. So I'm going to attend to 2 questions only. But first, let us go to the quiz section. If you find this video helpful, make sure you like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the quiz section. Welcome to the quiz section, and this is the first question on the quiz section, and it says the following code gives this output. What is the error? This is the code. I'm going to copy this, and I want you to take note of something, right? They are saying this code is giving an error, and it only happens when they are trying to compile it. So I'm going to copy this code. Excuse me. I'm going to copy this code and put it on programmers. So I will run. You can see there is no runtime error. What I want to explain is, sometimes your code will run successfully, but it's not giving out the result, the right result. it's not giving out the correct result. And sometimes there might be error in the code due to runtime complexity or space complexity. I think this one is having issue with space complexity. That is why when they are trying to compile, they are having issues with compilation. Alright, so the best way to test it is to run your code and test it yourself so that you know exactly what you are doing. So this is the correct answer. We want to assign J a new value. Okay, so what is going on here is the assignment operator should be used instead of the comparison operator. Okay, so that's for that. So for the next question, the following code gives the incorrect output. Which of the following statement about what is causing the error? So you can always run and see what is causing the error. But I don't want to waste your time. I believe you're going to do that on your own. So here is the correct answer. Make sure you run it and see what is going on. It gives you understanding on how you should debug. For question 2, it says look the following code. And when you look at it, it says in the main.c file, on what line is the first error that the compiler returns? Obviously is line 11. You can see they're already saying it here. Main.c line in level undeclared. Okay. So if we go to question #3, it said this code doesn't work as intended. Let's add printf statement to the code. What information does the printf statement tells us about how our code is executed? You can always copy this and run it on programs so that you will see the error and have a proper understanding. But however, this is it, this and this. Let me go to the next question. All right, we are done with the quiz. Next, I'll be performing 2 tasks, task O and task 1. So I'll see you in the task section. Welcome to the task section. There are different ways you can log into your cloud server, but what I will do is to use my own terminal and log into my cloud server. So I want to go to my sandbox. For my sandbox, you can click on this web terminal, open a new tab, and work here. So this is what your cloud server. Okay, but I don't want this. I'm gonna I'll just press exit to exit this. What I'll do is to use my SSH. So I'll copy this. I'll click to copy, then paste here and press enter. Okay, it's going to prompt for my password. Okay, it's prompted for my password. Now what I will do is to copy my password. I've copied my password. When you paste your password, it will not show, but it is there. All you need to do is to press enter. So I'm going to click on the paste. I right click and paste and enter. So let me expand this. Okay, you can see I'm in. If I do pwd, I'm in my root folder in the cloud server. Here I am on my cloud server. Let me see if I can zoom in a little. Okay, I think this is better. Let me add one. Okay, so if I list what I have here, this is basically what I have, and my project is on root. So I'm going to seed into root folder, and I want you to take note of something. My main work is in ALS low level programming. This is my main work. Then the one I'll be using for this example is located in example slash ELX low level programming. This is it. So what I'll do is to cd to my example folder. So I'm going to cd to my example ELS low level programming language. So I'm going to clear. Let me clear my console. So if I list what I have here, you can see this is basically what I have here for now. So the first thing you want to do is to go back to your project, scroll down, and you need to read everything here. You need to read everything. So you see, in most projects, we often give you only one main file with test file. In fact, let me keep this on hold. The first thing we'll do is to create our folder. This should be the name of our folder. So I'm going to copy this, right click and copy, and create that folder. So then I go into that folder. Okay, I'm into that folder. You can see the folder is empty, and what you want to do is to add a readme.md file. That is what we're asked to do if you read the requirements of the project. So I'm going to write my own readme.md, and so what I'll press I to insert. Then I'll just write anything. It should not be empty. Okay, learning debugging. Though you can add some syntax to make it look beautiful. I think mine is okay for this tutorial. So I'm going to do regular colon WQ to write and quit. So if you check my readme, you can see what I wrote is there. So the next thing we want to do is to look at this. So they're actually talking about giving us a main file in earlier project. Okay, so one is this file. We need this file, main.c, which it has been given to us already. So all I have to do is to copy this file, right click and copy. Note the name main.c. So I'll go to the project folder and do main.c. Then right click and paste. I'm going to exit, escape, regular colon WQ. If I list it, you can see we now have the main.c file. So the next file is the header file, which is just the main.h. So I'm going to copy this, Ctrl C, note the name main.h. I'll go back to my cloud server. I'm going to create the file. I'm using vim main.h. Enter. I'll right click and paste. I'm going to press escape, regular colon WQ. So if you check now, we now have two files. Okay, if we go back to the project, so we're going to read, say GCC. Now we want to compile this file. So if you look at what they are doing here, they are doing a GCC, trying to compile a file, but they are compiling two files, right? This file, we want to test this file and the main.c. So meaning this file is missing. This file is missing. So what they are saying here is based on main.c file. Okay, this one is for the next section, right? So now, if you remember our first project, we've worked on this file already. They're even pointing us there, which is the o.c file. So let me right click and open in a new tab. So you can see in the variable if else, we've worked on this project already. So what I'll do is I want to look for that file. Back to my terminal. I think there should be, if I check the previous folder, which is okay. I believe the file should be in the OX01. So I want to copy that file here. So I'll do cp dash dash OX01 variable if sy. Then you can look at what you have in the folder first. So let me just do lx and list. So if you look at it, you can see we have the o dash positive or negative.c. That is the file I want to test. So I will go back and do cp. My cp, I want to copy that file o dash positive negative.c, and where do I want to put it? The current folder. So I'm going to press enter, and if I do, sorry, let me clear. If I do lx-l, you can see I now have that file here, and you can check that file o dash positive or negative. You can see this is the content of the file. So I'm going to clear. Then the next thing I want to do, let me do lx again. Look at the name. This is o dash positive or negative.c. If you look at what they are trying to test here, this is positive or negative.c. So we need to change that name. So how do I change that name? I'm going to do mv o dash positive or negative.c, then change it to positive. Let me make sure I spell it correctly, or let me just copy it. Ctrl C. So it has been changed. LX, you can see we now have positive or negative.c. The next thing I want to do is to compile. So back to our project, I want to copy this GCC command, right click and copy, go back here. So if I paste this, I want to compile now. Let's see if it's going to work or it's going to throw an error. I'm going to press enter, and you can see we have error. And if you look at the error, it says in our main.c file, multiple definition of main, which is positive, which is main.c as a main, and the positive or negative also has a main, first defined here in our main. Okay, so what, and we also have another issue. Okay, this is actually two issues. It's saying undefined main. Okay, let's go back to our project. So if you look at this, in our header we have the prototype, which is a return type is void, and the function name is positive and negative, and it takes in an argument, which is an integer. It requires a parameter, which is an integer. So if you go back here, we list what we have. So if we check the file main.c, we have a main here. There is what? Main here. Let me clear. If we check the file positive and negative, we also have a main here. And you know, main should only be one in every program, which is the entrance of the program. It shouldn't be two. So we need to remove one. That is where we need to modify the file positive or negative. So what I'm going to do is to open that file positive or negative. Then in this file we need to change the name of the function to positive or negative, and the return type should be what? Void. Remember, we have two errors, which is two mains and undefined reference. So the first thing I will do is press I, I go back to that line, and what I want to do here is to change the return type. So void. Then the function name, which should be positive underscore or negative. Then it should take in, it needs a parameter which is I, and should be of int I. So since we've declared int, we've declared the parameter, we don't need these lines. Okay, let me remove this line. Remove this line. Oh, okay, let me correct that. Let me correct that quickly. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to change the n to I. Then go here, change this n to I. Then every n should be I. There is a shortcut to do that, but I don't know that, but you can help me out if you do. Change it to I. Then the last one, I believe, change it to I. So let's look properly. I think every n has been changed to I. So remember, our function is a void, so we need to remove this return type. I'm going to remove this. Okay, now we've declared a parameter I. There should be a description for that. If there's no description, Betty is going to whip your ass. Betty is going to complain. So let me just show you. Escape WQ. So if you type Betty, positive or negative, and test that file, okay, you can see it says no description found for function positive or negative, and 2, no description found for parameter I. So we need to do that. Okay, back to the file. I to edit. Instead of main, this should be positive or negative. Positive underscore or negative. So we also need one for, we also need another description for the I. So what I'll do is at I, then it should be an integer. If I press escape, regular colon WQ, and let us test that file again. Betty, positive or negative, enter. We have another error, which is line over 80. And it's still complaining about no description for positive or negative. So let's look. Probably I must have misspelled the description. So back to the file. Okay. So what I'll do is, this line is too long. I'm going to press I. I'm going to reduce the line. So for this line, what I want to do is it should print, the function prints a number. That's all. That's enough for the description. Okay, so let me see. Okay, you can see, yes, I misspelled the positive. So this should be positive. So I think everything should be good now. But let me just go and test the file again. Regular colon WQ, and back to Betty. Okay, good. We are good. So now we want to run the previous command. You can press up to the previous command, or you can just go back and copy it from the project website. So if I right click, copy this, and back to the terminal. Let me remove this. In fact, let me clear everything and right click and paste. So the GCC for positive or negative and main.c. If I press enter, it throws no error, meaning everything goes well. So if I do lx-l, and this is what we'll get, we'll now have a file called a.out. If you look at here, they also have what? A.out. So we need to run that file. So what I'm going to run is ./a.out. Enter. You can see we're having 98 is positive. We're having what? The same result. 98 is positive. So this shows we have done well. We have done what well. So the next thing you want to do is, they said based on the main.c file above, create a file named o-main. A file name must test the function positive or negative. Gives the correct output when the given case is 0. Note this, when the given case is 0. So they said based on main.c file, we should create a file called o-main.c. Let us do that quickly. So it looks like we already have the main.c file. So what I will do is to copy that. So I'm going to copy main.c as, remember the name is o-main.c, o-main.c. Enter. If you check now, we now have the file o-main.c. I want to modify o-main.c because of the condition we are given here. It says this file must test that the function positive or negative gives the correct output when the given case is of 0. So let me modify the file o-main.c. So we only need to change one thing here, I for edit, and I want to make I as 0. Okay, escape, regular colon, WQ. If you type Betty, I think the file should be good. And check. Okay, we have some indent issue here. Okay, let me quickly resolve them. Okay, so let me resolve that. Okay, we are not going to push this file. I don't want to stress myself resolving it. Okay, even though we push it, it doesn't even take into consideration. If you look at what they said we should do is, if you scroll up here, the only file they need is, okay, just a second, I'm looking for that. Okay, but basically I can't find it now. Okay, yes, you only need to upload o-main.c and main-is. Okay, good. So we need to fix that. All right, so vim o-main.c. So we have indent issue I, and okay, so first of all, let me go back. So it says code indent error, use tab where possible. Okay, so we have errors. So let me do that quickly. Then regular column, I want to see the number, and okay, so I'm going to remove every white space. Let me see if I have white space here. Okay, there's no white space there. Okay, there's white space here, so let me remove this and tab. no more white space. Then if I have white space, I have white space here. Then the back arrow to delete, 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 delete. Okay, enter. No more white space. Okay, let me see. No white space here. And there's white space here. Tab. Okay, no more white space. So let's escape. Regular colon WQ. So let's see if Betty will complain again. Betty omen.c. Everything is good. Alright, so the next thing we want to do is to compile the file. So we're going to do this. Copy this command. So I'm going to copy this command and paste it on the terminal. Enter. There is no error, meaning everything should be good. So if I do LX, you can see we now have a new file, which is o-main. If you look at your project web, you can see they are running the file here. So let me copy that command, paste, enter. O is 0. Do we have the same result? Yes, we have the same result. Let's also run this. Copy, paste. Okay, 16 o-main.c. Okay, it says 16 1-main.c. However, our own file name is o.main.c. I don't know where they're getting 1-main.c, but basically it has put the same result, which is 16. So at this point, you are done with task 1. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is do your git status. Okay, this is not a git directory. Okay, let me go back and initialize this. Git init. Okay, I'll come back to my folder. If I do git status now, okay, so I have some files. Okay, so what I will do is to do git add everything. Then you run your git status again. Git status is now green. This file has been added. However, you can remove these files, this o-main and and a.out. You can decide to delete them, or you can actually put them in git ignore. As for me, I deleted them out when I'm done. I usually push them to the cloud, but this time I don't just know why. I deleted them out when I was working on that project. So that's for that. Then the next thing you want to do is git push. Git push. Immediately you do git push, your project should be on the cloud. You go back to your checker and click on this check your code. When everything is okay, let me just click on it. Do I worked on this before? Let me just see. When you click on the checker like this, you can see everything should be green. When it's green, all you need to do is to close, and this button will show done. This check will be checked here. So that is all. I actually promised to cover the next one, but I'm not going to cover that. I have a lot of tasks waiting for me. Sorry about that, but it's actually the same pattern. You just have to look into it, read carefully what needs to be done, and do the same thing. This is actually easy. So they're giving you this file already. Okay, they said copy the main.file, copy this main file, comment out or delete it, the part of the code that is causing the output to go into infinite loop. Okay, if you look at that, if you look at this, right, you can see this is the part you need to comment out or you need to delete it. So you can see it's saying while I is less than 10, keep on firing this. There is no base case, so it will continue forever. So this is the part that is causing the infinite loop. So you need to remove this or you need to comment it out and push to a GitHub. It's actually simple. Then you test the file. That's all. Then you do your normal git push and git hard and push to GitHub. So for me, I'm going to put a link on the description below to my GitHub account. Remember, you don't need to copy, you need to work on it, write it yourself, test, and ensure everything is okay. Test your file with Betty. So that is all from this video. Before I go, let me replace this folder with my work that I've done. So I'm going to go back, clear, file leaks, what I have here. So I'm going to remove the debugging. Okay, this should not be false. Remove the O3 debugging folder. Remove, check, is not there. And I'm going to copy the original one step, two step, and I think this should be it. O-3. Okay, this is not it. I need to go one more step. So if I go, this should be O-3. O, it should be O dash. Let me even see. ELS, low level programming. Okay, let me even see what I'm checking first. Okay, let me remove one step. Okay, good. So the folder is here. ALX. No, not this one. This is the current one I am in. So we need to go back one step. ALX, low level programming, and O. That's 3. I want to copy to the current folder, but I need to copy that recursively. So I'm going to go back and put -arrow. So if I do LX, you can see my project is updated. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in another video.